I firmly believe that each and every one of you are a cool cat, man. But perhaps none of us are as cool as this guy. It is the Transformers Beast Wars Deluxe class, I assume it was Deluxe class back then, Cheetor, with several custom paint apps. But he's going to be our focus in the latest GotBot True review. Hello you beautiful folks, welcome back to the channel. I am your host Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Stick around the channel, have some fun with us here. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and me everywhere. This is Cheetor, and this is the original Beast Wars Cheetor. Now, I've been sort of trying to clue up the remaining Maximal team members that I have in my personal collection, in my lineup, and they come from all over the place. A couple are KOs, a couple are Generations, one from the Classics Universe line, just a little bit earlier than Generations, and some right from the Beast Wars era itself. I like to have, as many people know by now, one representation of a character, which means I wanted one Cheetor, and I opted to go with the original. This one is the green-eyed variant, by the way, and it's a mold that's been painted and used several times, and I understand why, because it's pretty fantastic. Now, yes, I did do some custom paint apps here, but as aged as this is, I think that it still stands up and stacks up very well. Even better than many figures today. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And of course, the resident cat for the Maximals is Cheetor. I equate with Blue Streak. I think it's the head crest maybe. I don't equate him with Bumblebee like so many others do. He's definitely the youngest member of the team, the go-getter, the one who has something to prove, but also the one who jumps in before thinking. And when I decided to add this guy to my collection, I was trying to decide which version to get. Obviously, the MP is spectacular. He also costs a spectacular price tag, at least in my books. I like it, but it would be too big for fitting in with the rest of my personal collection. So that left me with this guy or the Classics. And I almost got the Classics because I do like the cheetah mode there better than this, but the robot mode there is pretty inaccurate, especially from the waist down, and I don't know what's up with his arms, but it does not look like they can straighten out entirely. I wanted at least the bot mode to be reminiscent of the character and be decent, so I opted for this guy, even though the cheetah mode here might leave a little something to be desired because it's a little bit chunky. There's another cat that I think this cat mode works better for than Cheetor. There have been several repaints of this guy. I think there was like a Telemocha one, and there was a Fox Kids one, and there was this one, and even this has like a green-eyed variant and a red-eyed variant and a blue-eyed variant. I don't really know why there's a blue-eyed variant. I get it. In robot mode, I believe his eyes were, in animal mode, I think his eyes were green, and I believe when he transformed to robot mode, the eyes turned red for some strange reason. I don't know. I don't know why that would be. Nevertheless, this doesn't look too bad. At least it looks like a cat. Yes, we do have robot bits back here, like on the back of the legs and whatnot, but come on, man. It's not like you're going to get away from it. The articulation here, that is not great. We can kind of go back and forward a bit, out to the side a lot. I guess knees can move a lot. These front paws can move forward and back a little bit, but like if you move them forward, you're opening up the side here and showing a lot of stuff and things. So I don't know. It's all right, but it could be better. Just my thoughts. So I'm not going to score the paint apps yet. We are going to, of course, do his conversion first. But before we can do his conversion, we have a couple of I guess I'm going to call parts forming pieces that we need to remove, but really they're his accessories. So we will remove them now and take a look at them and then finish the conversion. So the first is this whole section back here. If I can get it off there. And we have a peg hole right there, and we have a peg up under right here, and the tail folds back, and I guess this is a blaster now, I suppose. We'll see this closer in a second. The other thing that we remove right now is what's known as his gut gun. So we come down underneath and we take his belly off, and we will see that now in a moment as well. But this is what we're left with for our cat. So if you're looking for one in the aftermarket that says incomplete, this is what you might end up with. If you're cool with this as your cat, then hey, good for you. So here are basically the back hips. It's a blaster, I guess. We have a handle underneath there. I don't know. It's alright, I guess. It's not painted. I don't remember him having this in the program, but I do remember him having this. Now, this came completely unpainted. I used some like metallic pink, basically, right here and colored in that section. It's molded in for his guts, I guess, as disgusting as that is, but it's accurate, and this is alright for accuracy, I suppose. Like, you know what it is, kind of. It's just sort of gross. Okay, so let's do the conversion for this guy. We come down under here, and there's a little notch right there, and it allows you to start to bring the feet out. By the way, I have a lot of custom paint apps done on this guy. I'll talk about them when we get him in robot mode. You turn at the knee. You turn at the knee once you have that out. And we can stand the guy up. You can even turn him around here at the waist if you want now, because you're going to have to do that anyway. So there's that. There's a called a flap right here that makes part of his back. We bring that down because it's really going to be a part of his hips now. It's his hip skirt. Right? In essence, that's what we have there, is hip skirt. Then we can bring that front paw down and bring that front paw down. And we can bring out these pieces. They're the rest of his back. And straighten it out and bring it out to the side and down and rotate at the bicep. And there's one arm out. Same thing over here, out. Down, rotate at the bicep. Beautiful. There are the arms out. And again, a lot of custom paint work done on them, but I'm happy with it. Then we have the head, the most interesting part of the conversion. So I'm going to adjust things slightly so that we don't miss anything with it. Alright, so the head. We basically bring it out and we turn it on this blue armature here. And we bring it in. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, you need to leave it all the way out like that, and that's not good. I don't find that. I find with Cheetor, I can angle it down. So it's kind of like the face is sort of looking down like it should. And it works fine with Cheetor. And in the end, boom, here we have Cheetor. He can hold his accessories in his hands if you want. Like, there's one, and here's the other, and he looks like that. And to me, that's a pretty good looking robot mode. That's a pretty good looking Cheetor. I will note that he has the whole mutant mask thing, so you can flip his like robot face forward. I guess technically it allows him to look down. And now he has this like mutant head thing. I don't know. I will never ever in a billion years use that because they didn't have it on the program, so it's not a thing for me. By the way, since I'm up here to the head, I will note that it can turn around a full 360 degrees. It can't really look up very much, but it can look down because of that gimmick, I guess. Now what about those pesky paint apps? Well, there was a bronzy gold on his toes and on his forearms, and I think the entire upper arm was blue, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was yellow, I don't recall right now. There wasn't any gold on his head, that was not there. So all of the actual gold I painted on. Same down here on the spikes on his legs, on his toes. The blue kind of here on the forearm, I painted on. It's not a lot of paint apps, it's just a bit. The gold on his thighs I painted on, but it's enough to make it look like Cheetor. It was a solid 8, like it was alright, like you knew it was Cheetor, there's no doubt about it. Now I think it's a solid 9.75, it's pretty much perfect, it's pretty close. Even the yellow on his eyes was a bit challenging to do for the robot mode. I'm not going to pretend that was easy, it wasn't. But like 9.5, transformation, easy, fun, interesting. 9.5. Articulation, well, I already showed what the head can do. The arms can go all the way around. We have a bicep swivel, we know that from transformation. We have a super deep elbow. We don't have a wrist, but okay, I can live with that. We have a waist, as well, we gotta lift up his hip skirt, but we have a waist. We have legs that go well forward, they go well back. We have a swivel just above the knee. We have a knee to 90 degrees. We have toe tilt. He stands super solid. 9.5. It's fantastic articulation. I'm going to put him on the turntable thing just so we can kind of see him all the way around. And I'll give my final score then. I absolutely dig this guy. I don't think the update was as good as the original, and it goes to show that new isn't always better. So we had a 9.5 overall for this guy. His articulation is pretty great. There's not much more that I could want for him. You might complain about his large chest, but it really doesn't tend to get in the way of pretty much anything. He can score a lot of great dynamic poses, even though it looks like he has a lot of kibble that would prevent it. I don't feel like anything is going to break on him. Even on the MP, these front cheetah legs tend to cross over each other, and I think there's a little peg that holds them together, and that peg is known for shearing off. You don't have that concern here. Yes, they don't cross over, but they really don't bother me there, and again, they get in the way of nothing. I'm going to say his articulation is a solid 9.5. This version of Cheetor, or one of its various repaints, is still, 20 plus years later, is still fantastic. And I can highly recommend them to anybody. In fact, it's so fantastic that with an overall score, for sure, of like 9.625, because that's basically what it is, he even fits in really well with kind of a more modern Chug collection. Case in point. Here's my mishmash Maximal team as it currently stands. Now, not long ago, in fact, extremely recently. In fact, the video just before this one, I looked at Classics Dinobot and the custom paintwork I did on him, and I noted all of the episodes that showcased each of these characters. I don't want to run through that again, but you can find out there kind of when and where I covered all of these guys, because everybody here has been looked at, from the KO Air Razor and KO Lio Jr. to Generations Rhinox and Rat Trap to the who else do I have there? To the Depth Charge over there, to this Optimus Primal, who I'm on the fence about whether I will leave him with the collection or if I will replace him with the Power of the Primes Optimal Optimus, who, by the way, I will note, and I didn't do this before, I've done a few paint apps on since I looked at him in episode 432, maybe, was it? 432, 437, 432, I think it was. Yeah, 432. I added some yellow up here. I made his eyes green. I added a little yellow down on his shin, but it's a great figure overall that I think a lot of people overlooked. Cheetor fits in here fantastic. I like the look of this team so far. And here we are once again, and what can I say? With the custom paint apps, I think this guy is spot on accurate. Even without them, he's pretty good, and there have been some official repaints, of course, that are even more accurate than the one that I got. I just happened to find a good deal on this copy of the mold. It's as simple as that. I think that this still blows the updated version that came out in the Chug line out of the water. This blows it out of the water. Yes, there were certain things that were nice about the update. He was taller, he was lankier, but I didn't feel like it embodied the character as well as this guy. Now, of course, there are those out there who will say, hey, that's fine, that's good and grand, but the be-all, end-all for Cheetor, of course, is the masterpiece Cheetor. And naturally, if you're an MP collector, that's the one to go for. There's no doubting about it. It's regarded as a fantastic masterpiece figure, one of the best, although I have heard of these paws being crossed on the back and the little peg cracking off. That, to me, is unacceptable for a masterpiece, for something that you pay that price point for. This, I was lucky. Even in the aftermarket, I paid, I would say, less than regular retail for this guy. I probably paid what he cost back in the 90s, maybe? Not much more. I got an exceptional deal on this guy for being complete nonetheless. And the bit of paint apps that I added to him were pretty easy overall. I can understand why they didn't really use gold plastic, and I'm glad that they didn't at the time. We all know about that Transmetal Megatron after all. But using gold paint nowadays, I think it makes this guy just pop that much more. He's a fine looking cat, he's a fine looking robot, and that's what makes this guy a cool cat. Anyway, let me know which Cheetor is your Cheetor. You know I love to hear from you guys. Again, I'm going to thank you for dropping by, give me some of your extremely valuable time. Please hit that subscribe button and help me out. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together to continue our trek down the Maximum Trail here inside the videos.